Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day, welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. You can watch this program live on our Facebook page, that's Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You can also hear us live on audio streaming at Evox PBS receiver app. So join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
In case you missed it, or in case you missed the developments over the weekend, 11 out of 12 senators who are included in the Magic 12 of the recently concluded midterm elections has been proclaimed on Saturday, May 17. And the only senator-elect that did not make it to the proclamation at the Manila Hotel was Francis Kiko Pangilinan due to his attendance at the graduation of her daughter in the United States. He was represented by his relatives. Nonetheless, re-electionist Senator Amy Marcos was the first to be proclaimed by the Commission on Elections, clinching the 12th spot with 13,339,227 votes. So let's listen to her short statement of gratitude to all electorate who trusted her.
Sa inyong lahat ang tagumpay na ito, kahit gaano kailap at kahirap, ay isang katibayan na kapag ikaw ay nanindigan para sa tama, mananalo ka. Hindi nagmaliw ang paniniwala ko sa dunong ng sambayanang Pilipino. Nadama at alam nila ang ibig sabihin ng sakripisyo at prinsipyo at gagawaran nila ito ng suporta at pagmamahal.
That was incumbent Senator Amy Marcos. Proclaimed next were Senators Lito Lapid in 11th place, which he garnered 13,394,102 votes. Las Piñas City Representative, that's outgoing Las Piñas City Representative Camille Villar in 10th place with 13,651,274, and the incumbent Senator Pia Cayetano in 9th place. Let's listen in.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Okay, while we are trying to play the short messages of three senators, okay. So again, the Senators Lito Lapid garnered votes, which he garnered at 13,394,102 votes, followed by Las Piñas City Representative Camille Villar in 10th place and Senator Pia Cayetano in 9th place. And I hope we have the video right now.
Sa inyo po at apat na term ko na po ito bilang senador at gagawin ko po lahat ng aking magagawa. At sisipagan pa natin, maghanap po tayo ng mga batas na para sa ating mga mamamayang Pilipinong mahihirap.
And I promise that I will work twice as hard, that I will stand twice as firm, and that I will serve with all my heart and exhibit leadership, because leadership is about showing up, standing up when it's easier to play it safe, and speaking out when it's more convenient to stay silent.
But to the rest of my colleagues, I look forward to engaging with you
in healthy and heartfelt debates, to argue with you, and sometimes to fight with you to the point na I will not talk to you that day because mainit talaga ang ulo ko dahil hindi tayo nagkakasundo. Pero hihimayin natin ng isa-isa ang mga batas na hinaharap natin sa mga kababayan natin because they deserve no less. They deserve no less than people that they elected with different points of view, with different backgrounds, to argue their points, to find what is the best solution, and not to compromise just because it's easier to compromise, but to find the very best that the Filipino people deserve.
You've heard Senators-elect Lito Lapid, Camille Villar, and Pia Cayetano. Meanwhile, former Senators Ping Lacson and Vicente Tito Soto III placed 7th and 8th with 15,106,111 and 14,832,996 votes respectively. Lacson and Soto III were previously candidates for President and Vice President last 2022 presidential elections respectively. Lacson thanked the Commission on Elections for a job well done. Take a listen.
In these terms, I have made legislations and principally authored 259 laws that improved and elevated the lives of the Filipinos. In this fifth term, I will exercise oversight on existing laws to ensure that it is properly implemented. I will make sure that the budget of the government is used correctly. And most of all, I will make certain to restore the good image, integrity, and independence of the institution.
Barring any future adverse, serious, and credible issues or accusations raised against the Commission on Elections in the conduct of the May 2025 elections, I take my hat off to Chairman Garcia, the COMELEC commissioners, the staff, the employees of the Commission on Elections for a job well done. Ang bili niya sa akin, simple lamang. Lagi mong pakakatandaan, Ping, sabi niya, ang tama ay paglaban, ang mali ay labanan. Yon po ang aking naging panuntunan, naging aking gabay sa mahigit 50 taon na ako'y nagsilbi sa gobyerno. 20 taon bilang sundalo, 10 taon bilang pulis, at 18 taon bilang senador. At ito po, Chairman, Commissioners, will be my 4th term as an elected Senator of the Republic.
And you just heard Senators or returning Senators Ping Lacson and Vicente Tito Soto III. Meanwhile, Sagip Party List Representative Rodante Marcoleta ranked 6th with 15,250,723 votes. So let's hear outgoing Party List Representative and incoming Senator Rodante Marcoleta.
Ang tagumpay na aking nakamit ay tagumpay po nating lahat. Para sa akin po, ito ay tagumpay na rin ng pag-iral ng demokrasya sa ating bansa. Isang panibagong yugto na nangangailangan ng nagkakaisang pagkilos para sa kabutihan ng ating bansa.
And that was Representative Rodante Marcoleta. Returning Senator Francis Pangilinan, though, claimed 5th spot with 15,343,229 votes. Although he did not make it to the proclamation event, he was represented by his relatives. And meanwhile, ACT-CIS Party List Representative Erwin Tulfo finished at 4th rank with 17,118,881 votes. And outgoing Party List Representative Erwin Tulfo called for national unity and work together to move forward as one nation. Take a look.
In these trying times of economic hardships, social divisions, and heightened political differences. There is but one powerful force that can carry us forward, and that is national unity. Unity is not just a concept we talk about during elections. It is the foundation of a strong and resilient nation. It is what binds the rich and the poor, the young and the old, the people from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. It is what enables progress, justice, and peace. But unity does not mean uniformity. It means finding common ground, listening to each other with respect, and working together despite our differences, with one common goal: to move forward together as one nation.
Meanwhile, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa finished third with 20,773,946 votes. He thanked his supporters and his party for his victory at the national polls. Former Senator Bam Aquino, second overall, garnered 20,971,899 votes. He has one wish for this 20th Congress though. So let's listen to this.
Ang wish ko po para sa Senadong ito, sana po lahat kami magsama-sama para tulungan ang taong bayan, para bigyang lunas ang mga problema na dinaranas ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino. At ang binigay niyo pong mandato, hindi po sasayangin. Ang binigay niyo pong mandato, iingatan po natin at sisiguraduhin po natin na ang mga reforma sa edukasyon, pagkakaroon ng trabaho at pag-angat ng ating kapwa Pilipino, ng pamilyang Pilipino, yan po yung aaraw-arawin po natin.
And that was Bam Aquino. Finally, the incumbent Senator Christopher Bongo garnered 27,121,073 votes to lead the winners. He promised to continue to advocate on health, education, sports, and the youth. And that's gonna be his second term as a senator. So let's listen to Senator Bongo.
I will continue to push for pro-poor programs and laws, especially on health. Health is wealth. We must work together to bring quality medical services closer to our people, particularly the poor and indigent patients. Ang kalusugan ay katumbas ng buhay ng bawat Pilipino. With the help of my fellow legislators, we will also continue to help our future generations, the youth whose voices we heard last elections and who hold the promise of a brighter future for our country. Hence, we need to invest more in education, like expanding further the law promoting the universal access to tertiary education signed by former President Duterte, so that students will be able to choose more programs and avail of free education. As an advocate of sports, we should also further advance sports development in the country, especially in the grassroots, so that aspiring young athletes can be given the opportunity to improve their skills and hopefully, eventually, produce more Olympic medalists.
You've just heard Senator Bongo. And all 12 newly elected senators will commence their term on June 30th, 2025 at exactly 12 noon and will end on June 30th, 2031 or after 6 years.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Meanwhile, the Department of Health or DOH assured there is no cause for alarm despite the reported surge in coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 cases in some Southeast Asian countries. Health department are actively coordinating through established mechanisms like the ASEAN as it gives them verified information boosting its readiness. Hong Kong and Singapore earlier noted a surge in COVID-19 cases. In Singapore, the latest data show that the estimated number of COVID-19 cases in the week ending May 3 increased to 14,000 from 11,100 in the previous week. Hong Kong, meanwhile, said its major surveillance indicators of COVID-19 reached a one-year high. Its health agency did not provide the total number of cases but said it recorded 81 severe cases among adults, including 30 fatal cases in the past 4 weeks. And to give us an update on the rise of COVID cases in our ASEAN neighbors, we will have to speak with the president of the Private Hospital Association of the Philippines. That's Dr. Jose De Grano when Front and Center returns.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Time to celebrate kulturang Pinoy. Tradisyon, musika, sining, literatura at iba pa. Anything and everything fun and Filipino. Ito ang Pinoy Kultura.
Experts say this, journalists write it, and we promote it. Sadyang malikhay ng Pinoy, yes? You hear that all the time. We merge dishes like sinigang na corned beef. We mash up songs for a laugh like Señorita by Shawn Mendes.
I love it when you call me Señorita. Pintig ng puso ko'y para sa'yo.
And Lumayo Ka Man Sa Akin by Rodel Naval. And there's the timeless practice of Pinoy parents naming their kids after their meshed names, like Jovelyn or Benjamin. Pero ang isa pang mahilig ko tingtingin ng Pinoy ay language. Mga salitang Tagalog na minerge or completely inimbento, pauso. Street words or slang, made-up words or familiar words with made-up meanings only a Filipino would know. Like praning, tanyare, and some that have even made it to the Oxford English Dictionary. Like bongga, defined as flamboyant or excellent. Bahala na, balikbayan, high blood. Yup, they're in the Oxford English Dictionary. Look under Philippine English along with other Filipino coined words. The OED has an entire Philippine English piece on it. The first editions were plant or animal names like abaca and tamarao. Recent editions include kilig, pandesal, and traffic as an adjective, defined as marked by slow movement of vehicles or congested. Filipino lexicographer Danica Salazar says the Philippine-sourced editions legitimize Philippine English as a variety in its own right. The words that got in did so from observed use online in publications and through linguistic studies. It'll be interesting to see what other Filipinized words make it next. What about keri o marites?
Yan ang Pinoy Kultura because our culture is cool.
Radyo Pilipinas World Service Online, reaching you in digital format. Anytime, anywhere. From Manila, Philippines.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome back to Front and Center. So the Department of Health are actively monitoring cases of COVID-19 in our neighbor, which is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN. So to give us an update regarding the developments on the rising cases of COVID-19 in ASEAN countries like Singapore and Hong Kong, we have now on the line the president of the Private Hospital Association of the Philippines Incorporated. That's Dr. Jose De Grano. So, Dr. De Grano, good morning. This is Jerome Toledo from Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Yes, Jerome, and to all our listeners out there. Good morning.
Good morning. So, the Health Department is actively monitoring cases of COVID-19, which is continuously rising in our ASEAN neighbors, particularly in Singapore and as well as Hong Kong. So, do you have any updates regarding this? What's the monitoring of your association, Dr. De Grano?
So far, actually for the past several months, or a few months since January, there were only very few COVID cases. And aside from that, the symptoms of the COVID cases, if there are any, are still mild. And of course, we have news that there is an upsurge, more or less, or increase in the number of cases in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Thailand.
Right.
And that's why more or less, we are trying to be aware regarding this, so that we are preparing ourselves
Mm-hmm.
uh, that in cases of similar symptoms, then we will have to make the beds of the hospitals ready in
Mm-hmm.
case they need to be admitted.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, even with news from the Department of Health, there
Yeah.
are not much increase in cases right
Mm-hmm.
now. But remember that our borders are open,
Yep.
and a lot of our people go to Hong Kong, they go to Singapore, even Thailand, and they come back.
I see.
So
Mm-hmm.
the borders are open. So we should be prepared anytime that
Mm-hmm.
cases like our COVID cases may increase at any time.
Okay. All right. So this strain of COVID-19 is still mild.
Yes.
Am I right, Dr. Degrano? So this is the
Yes.
mild strain of the virus.
Yeah, yes. So far, the symptoms that we
Mm-hmm.
get at the hospitals are mild.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of the reasons there is because we have a very high degree of vaccination in our country. So at least the immunity of the people are very high.
Mm-hmm.
So the symptoms are relatively mild.
So it's not life-threatening, Dr. Degrano.
Mostly, but of course, we are aware that people who are highly vulnerable, like those with comorbidities and immunocompromised,
Mm-hmm.
may have complications if they get COVID. That's why if these are the patients are the highly vulnerable segment, then we usually advise them to seek admission to the hospital.
Mm-hmm. Though the disease is mild and not life-threatening, authorities must conduct its border checks, particularly health checks at the airports.
Probably, yes, probably that would be the best way. But
Uh,
then, of course, you won't be able to say that if you don't do the test. So that's why probably we should do routine tests. But it may it's going to be expensive on the part of the government
uh-huh.
to do that routinely. So probably that's why that is the problem why we cannot really give uh, definite number of cases, because not all of these cases are tested, and so we don't know really the data. Unlike in other countries like Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
Hong Kong, they give it for free, and so they can say that of course we have this number of cases.
Mm-hmm.
But in the Philippines, because the symptoms are the same, like in cases of flu, in cases of other viral diseases, the symptoms are almost the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why but we don't do tests regularly or routinely. And so we cannot say that there is really an increase or a decrease in the number of
Okay.
cases.
All right. Okay. Given that developments, Dr. Degrano, so what should the public do to avoid COVID-19 cases from surging?
Well, of course, every time we have something like this, of course, we advise our people to have the minimum precautions, like wearing of mask if you go to hospitals or some areas where
Mm-hmm.
there are just too many people, and if you are highly vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you wash your hands frequently,
Mm-hmm.
of course, and then avoid crowded areas, of course. And that's it. And if you have symptoms, even flu-like symptoms, then consult, and then, if possible, get yourself tested, so that at least you know you know where to isolate yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or whether to prevent that the spread of the disease to your family members or to
Mm-hmm.
your friends.
All right. Okay. Just to make it clear, Dr. Degrano, so there's no active cases of COVID-19 here in the Philippines as per
Uh,
your group's monitoring.
there are, but only sporadic. There are. Very few, only very few. And the symptoms are very mild.
Very mild, okay, which is non-life-threatening.
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right, and with that, thank you so much for the update, Dr. Jose De Grano, the president of the Private Hospital Association of the Philippines. Thank you for joining in the program.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and have a good day. Thank you. That was president of the Private Hospital Association of the Philippines, Dr. Jose De Grano. And with that, we conclude this edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Together with our production team and technical personnel, this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay, love the Philippines.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.